I was born in Slovakia, which was at that time Czechoslovakia. And that's where I grew up. And in the 40s, in the years of starting the 40s, Hitler started to be very strong and people went very much against the Jews. So my mother decided to leave our small city, which was called Košice, and we went to Budapest, to live to Budapest, took an apartment there, because she said there are so many people there that we get more like lost. And that was our luck, because in Košice, in 42, all the Jews were taken directly to Auschwitz or other camps, and most of them got gassed, died. The younger people were forced to work, and well, some survived and some didn't, as we all know. And in Budapest, we lived very quietly. There was no trouble until 1944. The Germans came into the city. We were forced to wear a yellow star on our coat or jacket, whatever we wore. And if you didn't fulfill the requirements they wanted to, they killed people. They just killed you. You had to have always your papers. If you are Jew, if you are not a Jew, if you are Jew, you have to have the star. I remember once I walked on the sidewalk and a German soldier came by and seeing my star, pulled me by the arm and like throw me down so I shouldn't walk on the sidewalk. But that's when 44, when the Germans came in, they started to take all the Jews out of their apartments or houses, whatever, to have them together. So in a certain neighborhood of Budapest, if there was a big apartment, let's say of 5 rooms, they put in 5 families. We had to leave our apartment, but not only we, but most of them, and went to live together with other 4 families if there were 5 rooms. The thing is that in Europe, even in these were very good apartments, but there was only 1 bathroom and 1 kitchen and 5 families, so it was a lot of like fighting between the women. It's very difficult to live together like this. And this went on the whole 44 until November. In November 44, we were sleeping and suddenly they knocked the door and soldiers came in, and just like on random, they showed you, you, and you. Let's say there were 20 persons. And unluckily, I was the one whom they showed with the finger. Get ready, take your coat, take a bread or whatever you can carry on you. Never anything else but what you can carry, and we'll go. So, my mother gave me a bread. I had, I don't know how you call this, what you put on your shoulders. And the winter coat, because it was cold in November. And we didn't know where they take us. And they took us to an enormous building which had no window, no light, no nothing, because it was the brick factory of Budapest. Enormous. An enormous hall, no bathroom, and there we were sitting like one on the other, no food, no bathroom, people made where they were, no sleeping, and we were in this brick factory for 3 days. And after 3 days, they opened the door And we came out, and I must tell you, when I saw the blue sky and the sunshine and the daylight, after 3 days in this darkness, I felt so happy that I can take some fresh air. But we didn't know where they take us. So they put us in a long, long line, and we were walking and walking and walking. We were walking to take us to the trains, to take us to Auschwitz. But we didn't know. We only knew they take us to something very bad.
Yeah.
They took us out of our home. They took us away from everybody we know. Met there a young girl walking as I did, and we made friends, and we talked, and like every night we arrived to a field, whichever field, walking. In the field there were some soldiers waiting for us with a big thing with soup. Everybody got a plate of soup and a piece of bread. And then in the field at night you had to lie down and sleep wherever you were, in the cold. And this went on for a few days, and I told my friend, look, I want to run away. I know they are taking us to a bad place. And this day there was raining, it was very dark because of the weather, cold, and every 10 meters there was a Hungarian Nyilas, they were called like Hitlerians, with his gun, accompanying the Jews wherever we went. And I said, now it's dark, this one is far away and the other one is before us. I cross the street and go to the fields. Are you coming? She said yes. And we crossed the street knowing that they could shoot us, but they didn't see us. And we walked there, and suddenly we saw a house of peasants. And we knocked the door. So the peasant woman came out, and we said, could you please let us stay with you and give us something to eat? We are very hungry. And she said, yes, come in. And she let us sleep, but not in the house, but with the horses in the stable on hay. But that was nice because it was warm, and I liked the smell of the horses. And she brought us there food, and after that we were there like 3 days. A boy, I don't know, her son or her nephew, they were all very good people to us, said, you cannot stay here anymore because some neighbor of some other peasant house already told the authorities that we are hiding 2 Jewish girls. So you have to go, but where? Come with me to the fields, further on, and in the fields they had like little houses made of hay, and he said, you go into this little house and you sleep here, and we'll bring you food. And we slept there like 3 days, and after 3 days he came and the bombs were lighting up the whole thing. And he said, you cannot stay here anymore, but if we go to, I accompany you to a little town which is on the border, which is called Komarom.